Hi, everybody. My name is Gabriel McCrae. I'm with My Plus Financial. I'm a financial advisor, and I am the Fly Millionaire. Fly Millionaire because if I was a fly on the wall of a room, a fly on the wall in a room with millionaires or a millionaire, this is what they would say, and this is what I would bring back to you. Number one, who I am. I'm a regular guy. I'm somebody just like you, okay? And that's the reason that I'm doing this. I'm looking for people that are like me, that can identify with me. You notice I'm not coming on saying I've made millions, because I haven't made millions. I've certainly done some of the things that I will advise you about, and it has increased my income. I'm at five figures a month right now, and it didn't take me very long to get there. And so what I decided to do was to lay it all out on the line, to just talk to you about what's important to me, how I got started, and hopefully how I can help you. If you need to reach me, I'm at myfinancialplus.com. I'm happy to work with you. I'm available with a phone call. You can go there and get more information. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that are probably holding you back from building wealth, because the whole point of being a financial advisor is to work with you to improve your lifestyle, your income, and of course your quality of life. And the way I got started with this was right around 2012 with Edward Jones. I was an investment advisor with them, and the thing about it was that I was really hot on stocks and selling stuff, and thought it was going to be great. And so I went through the program, the internship, and what I noticed was there was not a lot of people in it like me, and so that bothered me. And I could do the job, but I really just couldn't get my mind around what they wanted me to do in relationship to how I needed to be successful. And so it didn't take me long to leave them. It was amicable. They wanted me to leave. I wanted to leave because I just wasn't fitting in. And the reason I wasn't fitting in, when I say people like me, you might be thinking culturally, but you know what? The nice thing about money is that it has no color. It's colorblind, okay? What I'm talking about, people like me, is people who were coming from the same experiences, people who had a common frame of reference. And that's what I want to talk to you about, and that's why I'm here, because what I'm doing with you is there's a lot of great information on YouTube, and I've been on a lot, and I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos, and there's content that I've read on Google, and I search and all that. And the first thing a person will come on, they'll tell you, you should follow me because I made $1 million. And then with me, there's always that slight pushback, like, yeah, but I wish, I had been with you while you were making $1 million. So what I decided to do was, just like Jim Carrey in that movie, The Truman Show, I'm right here with you to saying I'm having some success. I'm not where I want to be yet, and I'd like to invite you to join me and go with me on the journey. I'm gonna share with you what I'm doing. You're welcome to message me and give me some tips on what it is you're doing, and I'll certainly share it with other audience members that are interested, because let's go on this thing together. I don't want to wait till I am a millionaire. The perspective I'm going to give you now, the steps I'm going to tell you about right now, the things I'm doing right now are all available to you, and they'll work for you just like they're working for me. And I want us to build together, because the great thing about My Plus Financial is that it's built and it was founded by me on the concept of, let's do this where I can show you it works. As I climb the ladder of success, then you'll be able to share in my successes. And as I said, if you join me, I'll certainly be able to tout your successes. So let's just start at the beginning here with the mindset. You always hear people talk about mindset. You hear people talk about goals. You hear people talk about having a plan. Before any of that, understand. And this is what I understood. Like I said, I'm telling it to you from the ground level right now boots on the ground style talk. You know, we know all that we need to know to be successful where we are successful up into and at this point. All right? You have as much money as you have knowledge and skill to hold on to. But if you're like me, we want to go to the next level, and we want to go to an even higher level. And so when you look at it, we can break it all down. This is why your money is important. It's not for the sake of money. Money is just the means to an end. So as a financial channel and a financial advisor, I'm going to be talking to you about money. But right at the onset, I want to let you know we're looking past money, okay? Money is just portion of the vehicle. It's the fuel in the vehicle, okay? It's the scoreboard. The end result is that you got to look at where you are right now. You know, how's it working out for you? I'm talking to the people that are paycheck to paycheck, that have challenging or at best fair credit. I'm talking to people who are, in relationships that aren't quite working, and I'm talking to people who want to be more than they are, who live in paycheck to paycheck, who either don't have any money left at the end of their paycheck, very little left at the end of their paycheck, or if you do have some, you're not quite sure what to do with it, how to handle it, how to manage it. As I said, I'll go over all that with you. I'm doing it for myself. I'll share those tips with you. I invite you to join me. I'm trying to build a community of future millionaires because that's what I'd like to be myself. My goal is to be a millionaire within 1 year. I have thought about this for a while, and like I said, the best way to share it and encourage you is to make sure that I tie my success to your success and we can climb the ladder together. It's a win-win situation. As a financial advisor, and this is a lot of word of mouth, you know, you do well for one person, they'll tell somebody. So the only way that I can be successful is if I do a good job for you and you're successful. And when I say successful, I mean that you grow your wealth in massive amounts, okay? We're going to start off slow. It's going to build, it's going to build, it's going to get some momentum, but we don't want it to take forever. You know, you always hear about the person who started to invest when they were 20 years old and they put up $200 a month and they did this, and at the end of 40 years, you know, they had $70 million or they had, $5.2 million. Well, hell, at 70 years old, what do you want to do at 70 or $6 million? You want your money now. You want it while you can enjoy it throughout your lifetime. You want to make some improvements to your lifestyle right now, today. You want tomorrow to be better. You want to be able to address your bills. You want to be able to enjoy your family. You want to be able to enjoy your youth. You want to be able to enjoy life all along the way. So I looked at that. I studied it. I thought about it. I researched it. I worked on it. And my apologies. Let me turn off my phone. I forgot to silence it. There we go. The thing about it is that there are concrete steps. There are specific, measurable, proven strategies that you can do that will give you guaranteed results. And I don't use that word lightly. If you have something that's round, it's guaranteed because of the physical properties of it that it will roll. If you have something that's rectangular or square, it will not roll. It'll flip because it has edges. And so it will never roll. You can flip it over and over. And so those are scientific properties. And that's what I'm talking about. There's certain things that you can do and you'll get a certain result. Okay, your results may vary. And more than anything, the number one thing that you need to know and accept is it depends. That phrase right there is what is the linchpin of all this. It depends. It depends on you. It depends on your environment. It depends on what you do. So while things are guaranteed, they're guaranteed based on the fact that it depends. And so that's why you'll get sometimes wildly varying results, okay? Getting back to what it is I want to accomplish, what it is I want to do, I want to reach out to you and have you join me. As I said, I want my success to not be shared alone. I did not want to wait till I come on here, a year from now, 2 years from now, say, hi, you know what, I can help you. I'm a millionaire. There's plenty of millionaires. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've probably looked at some other motivational speakers, some other coaches, some other strategists about finances and building and growing your wealth, and they're all millionaires. But like I said, I didn't want to wait then. I wanted to be different. And in order to be different, I wanted to let you know, hey, I'm just like you. You can join me or not. This is what I'm committed to doing. And you're going to have a paradigm shift. You're going to have to be committed as well. But I'm going to talk you through it, talk to you about it, and we're going to get there together. You'll see in front of me, there's no notes because I'm talking to you from the heart. I had always planned that if I was ever going to address any kind of audience, that other than maybe just a few bullet points on a 3x5 index card so I don't ramble or something like that, I don't need any notes. I want to stay on topic and I want to stay on subject, but I don't want you to think that there's anything canned, that there's anything rehearsed. So if you hear me stumble, it's because it's real. I would stumble if I'm talking to you, and so this is just like talking to you, but on a platform that will allow me to reach thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. So, public speaking and podcasting and anything like that is tough because you don't get to take it back. It's not smooth, it's not polished, and it's not rehearsed. But if you feel me and you understand what it is I'm saying and I'm talking about, then I know that you're right with me, and it's not a big deal for you, as it's not a big deal for me. I'm not embarrassed to do it. And like I said, I want to keep it very much real with you. And so, therefore, one of the lessons that I want to tell you about quickly is about fear. A lot of times we're afraid to do stuff. We're in a comfort zone, and that's normal. Fear is one of our survival mechanisms as human beings. It teaches us to be wary of things. And so being comfortable and going out of that comfort zone, it's normal that you're going to feel fear. But I found a great strategy that I want to share with you, and that's what I'm going to be doing in this. Like I said, I'm sharing my lessons, and not that I have all the answers, but I'm sharing my lessons and the things that I found that work for me and certainly should work for you as well. They certainly work for others. As I said earlier, I'm having some success, and the future looks great. I have no doubt that I'm going to hit my goal of making $1 million in 1 year, and I'm going to share with you along the whole way. Back to fear. I was reading a book, and the statement was, fear is an indication of, and it went on to say some other words, and that stopped me in my track. And that was the solution, how you handle and how you get past your fear. Fear is an indication of. If you back up and change indication to indicator, fear is an indicator. That is brilliant right there in and of itself. So fear is a safety net, okay? It's to keep you from getting in trouble. So what are you fearful of? Fear is an indicator. Whatever it is you're fearful of, if you start to put some practices, some habits, some safeguards, some sort of net around what that fear is, if not totally eliminate it, you can certainly reduce it and make it more manageable. So if you are afraid to speak in public, then fear is an indicator that you're afraid to speak in public. Well, how can you remove some of that fear? Well, you can practice, you can get a script, you can write a speech, you can start small in front of a few groups of people and work your way up, because as we all know, experience breeds a certain amount of familiarity with something. And I didn't say you're going to necessarily do it right. It depends on your skill level of it, but your fear level will certainly go down, if not completely go away. So that's one thing you have to know. As you're thinking about creating wealth, as you think about growing your finances, because again, there's a lot of life balance, work-life balance concept out there. I'm talking to you about everything from a perspective of finances, for growing your money, okay? And again, it's not just money in and of itself. If I were to sit a stack of money on this table, $1 million on this table, $2 or $3 million on this table, and it just sat on this table, then obviously that shows you that money in and of itself is pretty much useless, because what we all realize is money is actually a tool. It underpins our life, and what we do with it is what gives it so much meaning and power. So just money in and of itself, even though I'm going to be talking about money, you have to understand that I'm talking about the end goal of money and what it means to you, how it will change your life, how it will affect your life, how it will allow you to meet and take care of responsibilities, the joys and happiness that you find that get you up in the morning, the stuff that keeps you going through the day, and the stuff that makes you go to bed at night and excited about getting up the next day. Okay? So the fact that, and I'm just going to start at paycheck to paycheck. The fact that you are paycheck to paycheck, or you have little or no money in the bank, there's plenty of evidence out there that say that the average American has less than $5,000 in the bank. Some figures are as low as $1,000 in the bank that they couldn't meet an emergency if it was $1,000 or $2,000. And so I've been there. I've had NSF, non-sufficient fund from the bank, which the bank make, and we'll talk about that. The bank make millions, if not billions, but I ain't going to exaggerate. They certainly make millions off of that throwaway fee, where it's like $32, $36, $28, depending on your individual bank. Sometimes the person you paid, the vendor or the retailer, they'll hit you with a fee as well, and you still owe that bill. I know about all that. If you're right there, I'm right there with you. That's what I said. I want to talk to you right now so I can encourage you to let's do this together. Let's build our wealth. Let's grow our wealth. Let's protect our wealth. Let's increase our wealth. Let's go from where we are right now to us one day being up on stages and telling our story, because I firmly believe that your glory is in your story. And your story will lead you to your glory. And that's not just being flippant with words. You have to embrace that your situation is relative. Remember I told you it depends. Everybody's reality is not the same. The things that happen to me, the things that I do, the things that are important to me, even if we are standing side by side, could be vastly different for you and the way you perceive it and the way you react to it and your activities and the way you think about it. So back to your money, I want to encourage you more than anything that you do not have to stay stuck paycheck to paycheck living. If that's where you are, you can break that cycle, you can break that habit. If you are even in a state of, I just want to say poverty, because again, that's relative. That depends on poverty to one person is not poverty to another. But I'm just speaking more now on a normal, realistic level. We are going to do it together. I'm certainly going to do it, and I know you can do it. You can do better with your money. You're doing what you're doing with it right now, and as Dr. Phil like to say, how's that working out for you? Probably not so good. I know it's not working out good for me, and that's why I set myself on this path, and I am so excited about it. I'm pumped. I'm stoked. I invite you to join me on it. And you know what? Let's look at it like this. First of all, you have to understand there has to be, they say a mindset. I like to say a mind shift. Okay? You have a mindset already, but what you need to do is decide that you're going to shift away from that you're going to start doing the things that you know, and you know what you need to do to make yourself financially better off than you are. And we're going to go over some of those things. Some of those things are not going to be new to you. Some are going to be things you've heard before and you haven't done. And then some of the things you're going to like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's nothing that's just going to be like this thunderbolt out the sky that's going to knock you out your chair. Again, this is real, it's practical, it's doable. You should be doing it, and it's 100% the only way you're going to improve your finances and build wealth. And right now, when I say wealth, we're talking about at least $1 million plus, okay? And I'll give you an example why I say that. I was reading a book one time, and it gave a scenario. And it was so interesting, and it made me say, wow, and the book said, if you had $1 million right now, if I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it? And at that time, and the average person would probably say, okay, well, you got $1 million, all right? Average person. This is before you have a mind shift. You have to know that the average person thinks two things. They think about paying their bills, and they think about buying things that they want, okay? And that's it. That's a good life to them if they can pay their bills and they can buy stuff. Now, one of the things that I want to step back and say is that, again, as I mentioned earlier, I've listened to hundreds and hundreds of hours of video and audio books, and so my goal certainly here is not to plagiarize anybody, because there isn't a lot new. There's some new stuff, and we'll talk about that. But there's plenty of inspirational quotes, speeches, words, sentences that some of the people I've been able to follow, very popular on YouTube, and you probably follow your own, have said that I really like that. It moved me. It gave me ammunition, gave me fuel for my journey. So if I say anything understand that some words are my own, some are somebody else's, and I'm paraphrasing it. Some, if I can think of the person, I'll certainly attribute it to them. I'll give them their credit. But there's a lot of people that I've studied in being able to start this journey, and you're going to need to study and work with somebody as well. I'll drop back on that as well. But basically, you're trying to do too much by yourself. You're trying to do too much alone. The people who are wealthy, and I don't want to go too far this, I'll lose my other train of thought. They're not doing all this stuff alone. So going back to what I was saying earlier is that, you can grow your finances exponentially. You can do better and live your life exponentially. There's, you can double it. You can triple it. You can 10 times. You can go 100% better. All kind of numbers. The thing about it is that you want to be satisfied. And in order to be satisfied, true happiness and true wealth is being able to be your best self, to live your life on your terms, to be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, get what you want to get, when you want to get it. And I was mentioning about the game of $1 million. So if you had $1 million, and not trying to slice and dice it right now, quickly, obviously you could pay off a whole bunch of bills, okay? Now I'm gonna use whole numbers because I never was that good in math, and I'm not gonna try to impress you that I'm that good right now. So we're gonna use some whole numbers. So let's say you got just lower bills, say maybe $50,000, $75,000 worth of debt. All right, so we'll run that up to $100,000 for easy money. So that's $100,000 gone, you got $900,000 left, okay? Now, you have to remember though, before you got your $1 million, what happens? It was taxed, right? You know it's taxed, I know it was taxed, okay? So normally the tax is up around 30% for you somewhere, but I'm gonna be lenient and I'm just gonna say 20%. So that's $200,000. So that's $200,000 gone, the other $100,000 you spent on bill, that's $300,000 gone. So now you got $700,000 left. And you have to understand that no matter where you live at in America, the probably the lowest housing price is going to be like $200,000, and then of course, as you know, going into the more popular areas, you hit $1 million plus marks. So let's just say though that you want to live nice, you buy a nice house, you're going to pay for it outright, and so you spend $400,000 on a house because you don't want nothing to come back, you don't want to lose your house, you don't want no mortgage. So if you spend $400,000 on your primary residence, now 4 plus 3, you at $7,000. Well, your $1 million, you already down to $300,000. All right, so now you're going to try some attempt to, be able to show other people you're doing good. So you're going to go out and you're going to get yourself a top of the line vehicle, and it's going to be $100,000, if not more. But we're just going to round it off. So now it's at $100,000. So now, you're down to $200,000 already. You see how quickly that happens? When you're paying your bills and you're buying things, you will blow through money. And of course, it has to do with the way you think. So your mindset, again, going to a mind shift is critical. And so that's why everybody always starts off, and this is no different for you, it's no different for me. You got to start off with a mind shift. And that's why you need to go to some quiet place in your head and think about what is really the kind of life you want to lead. What is so important to you? What would you really like to do? Where would you really like to go? What is it that you'd really like to have? Okay? And it's that kind of money that's going to get you there is the reason that you want to improve your finances and build wealth. So that's at one point. So, I was telling you that you either normally want to pay your bills and buy stuff. Well, a little bit better than that. Maybe you're doing pretty good in your wealth. You're making six figures, a low six to high six figures. $100 up to $190,000 a year. Some very good money. Well, right in there, you got a very good standard of living. You got a couple of cars. You got some kids. They may or may not be in private school. So at that point of living, it's important to you to pay your bills on time. It's important to you to maintain your credit because you like being able to leverage your credit into areas that you can't afford to buy the whole thing. Obviously to take all your money, but that's what's important to you right there at that level. So that still though is not good enough because your lifestyle, just like any of the lifestyles I'm talking about, is based on living as you earn. And as long as you are tied to that type of thinking, then you're going to have trouble. It's going to be trouble for you. I mentioned to you earlier about there's certain ways of doing things, and most, if not, well, I should just go ahead and say all of the ways, tie into what guides me and what I'll be sharing with you along the way are universal principles. There are 12 major universal principles, and then there's a lot of subcategories, which even goes off into scientific principles. And I say that to let you know that you can have confidence in what I'm talking about for, years. I don't want to say hundreds because I don't know how far back this thing goes, but for hundreds of years, people have looked at this thing and identified and got it down to its root cause and to its root outcome. As I mentioned to you earlier about the example of something round rolls and something with edges flips. No matter what period of time you go back to or how far you go into the future, unless we get to that point where, of course, I don't want you to play where we prove the teacher wrong. So I'm talking about concepts here. Let's get that point straight first. I'm talking about concepts. There's exceptions to rules. And so know that you say, oh, well, I got him right there. He's wrong. I'm not trying to be a know-all or a guru here sitting here like I have all the answers for you. I'm trying to tell you about proven strategies that work, that I depend on, that you can depend on, and that will make things better for you and make it easier for you to make those things better. So going back to your finances though, you need to know that more than anything else, you have a purpose that's only inside you. You have thoughts that are only inside you. It's so important that you understand that we're only able to live in this world because of people like you and me who have realized, that's the separator, who realize their thoughts and turn them into reality. And everything you say, everything you do, everything you touch, everything you see, that's real, that's tangible, is the result of somebody having had that image, that imagination, that thought, that preconceived notion in their head first. Some people were thought of to be crazy. Some people were thought of to be smart. Some people were thought to be average. It didn't matter. It all starts in our heads. And so there are things inside you that once you let those things, those thoughts, those feelings see the light of day, not only could it change your life, but it could literally change the people's lives around you or near you. And I dare say it could also change the world. We're living in a time when we are benefiting off so many contributions that ordinary people have made, that giants have made. Where would we be without the cell phone having gotten to the point that it is now, where it took the internet and it married it to the computer, and it married that to cellular technology. And so now we're literally walking around with the world in our pocket. And I say the world because you can, within seconds, call somebody in any part of the world, and you can look up information and connect with them in any part of the world. And so I encourage you to try to be your best self. You have to know that it's going to begin with the fact that trying doesn't always cut it, and so that's what you've been saying. I tried and it didn't work. I tried and I failed. And it's like this. If you're in a boat and you're in the middle of the water, let's just say a lake, and you fall out the boat and you can't swim, you can try as hard as you can to make it to that shore. Everybody will be pulling for you. They'll be rooting for you. You'll be giving it your best. You'll be trying so hard. But you know what? If you can't swim, you will drown. Trying is not always going to be a panacea to say, okay, well, that's pretty good. You tried. That's good enough. There are things that you have to do. And on this path to wealth, you need to get to that point where you cross the finish line and collect the type of life that you set out to collect. Because anything that has a beginning has an ending. That's a universal law. Right? There are opposites. There's plus and minus. So if it has a beginning, the opposite of begin is end. So when you get on your road to wealth, when you start your path, you start your journey, this is why they always tell you that, you can't give up. Because what happens is that if you get on this road, okay, and you're going to this point, or maybe you might take a detour, or maybe something may happen, or maybe you may take a wrong turn. Well, guess what? Where you stop, other than this point, which was your intended destination, what that was, that will become your defining success. That's where that path led you. That's where that journey led you. Your journey to get here could be circular. The word I'm trying to say, circuitous. I'll go with circle since I know. So it could be a winding path. It could be blocked. It could have obstacles. It could have hardships. It could have multiple failures. But in order to go there, any other place won't work. They can make it so you eventually and ultimately reach there, okay? But to go there, that's just not going to do it. So you have to know that it's in you, it's possible, it's doable, but you have to be focused, you have to be single-minded, you have to be determined, and you have to have the willpower and the perseverance to not give up, okay? For any problem, there is a solution. And again, it just goes back to, universal principles. If there is a problem, it's on the opposite side of the answer. So the solution to any problem is the problem. So if, give you an example. Now, let me preface this. Well, I'll come to that in a minute. So let's say this microphone is broken. Let's just use that as an example. Well, the solution to the microphone being broken is that it needs to work. That's it. The microphone is broken. We need it to work. That's the solution. The trick is that simple is not always understood. Okay? And I slowed down for that for the reason. People often misuse the term simple and easy. They equate them because they're synonymous to meaning the same thing. And that's far from the case. The microphone being broken, the microphone needing to be worked, that's simple. How we get it to work may or may not be easy at all. And I want to use Journey as another example. So let's say you're in California and I tell you, and you know, and there's no doubt about it, that, hey, in New York, there is $5 million waiting for you. Go to New York and you'll get $5 million. It's not in question. Is no doubt about it. So that's simple. Go from California to New York, collect $5 million. This is the part about easy. Getting to New York any number of things could happen. Transportation problems, family problems. You might get injured. You might get sick. hell, you may not even make it to New York, but any number of things could happen that make it difficult, to make the journey, almost unbearable to get to New York. And so that's why easy is not the same as simple. The solution to the problem, getting to New York, you know what that is, so that's simple. But don't confuse when you're trying to do whatever it is you have in your mind to do that's going to work for you, to get you to your path of financial success, to help you build wealth, to help you create wealth. You get disappointed, you get discouraged, you get stopped, you get confused, you get scared, you get all these different things because you jump out there and it's not easy. It is not easy, okay? Sometimes it's easier for one person than the other, but for nobody is it easy because even up until that point where they started to meet success, they had obstacles that they had to overcome. They had things that they had to figure out. They had things that they needed to do. They had resources they needed to acquire. And you have to know that is a lot of time what discourages you and causes you, like me, to want to give up. But you can't give up. And I say like me because I said want, because I'm not giving up. I'm going to the end. I'm going from failure to success. I'm going from mediocrity to fame and glory. As I said, your glory is your story. So one day I'm going to be on stages. I'm going to be talking to thousands of people, and I'll be able to share with them my experiences at that level so that I can touch, reach out, connect with somebody in the audience or somebody who's hearing my voice to encourage them at that level. Right now, I'm attempting to do that same thing at this level. There's nothing certain or I wish I could just strip it all bare to show you what you would face, what you would encounter. I can't do that. I can't do it for myself because you know what? That's not part of our reality. That's not part of us being able to see into the future. We just have to step out and make the best or the most correct choices that we can because here is you, here is somebody else, and this is where you guys collide, okay? So when right there in the middle is society. And so a lot of things can knock you off your path. A lot of things can knock you off your journey. And so that's why sometimes what you think is going to happen or what you want to happen or what you set out to do doesn't quite turn out the way you want it to or doesn't, is not realized in that manner because other people in life, they have things and agendas that they're doing too. And so guess what? The road doesn't just open up flat and you just go down the yellow brick road to the wizard. In getting to the wizard, there's all kind of challenges that you have to face and puzzles that you have to solve. The best place before you jump on that road, and remember, there's more than one right way to do something. So I'm talking to you from one perspective just to give you some ideas, to encourage you. However, there's more than one right way. What works for me may or may not work for you, but the fundamental principles will work for you, okay? But how I come at it. An example, if I wanted you to hand me this right here that's on the table, I could say, okay, give me that. Well, you could pick it up and give it to me with your hand. That's one way. You could put a glove on your hand and pick it up and give it to me. That's another way. You could pick it up with, let's say, some tongs and give it to me. It still gets to me. One way may be better than the other. One way may be easier or simpler to give it to me, but it gets to me. And so let that be an analogy or analogous to you for several other things. There's more than one way to do something. So don't let people stop you. Don't let yourself get down in the dumps or the doldrums because you didn't achieve it perfectly the way you want to. You can still get there. And again, your reality is not somebody else's reality. So the way that worked for them may not work for you. And that's okay. follow your path, be true to yourself, and get to where it is that you want to go. Because we would all like guarantees to an outcome. Well, the closest that you can get to a guarantee when it comes to building wealth, I'm going to tell you right now, let's take one way and let's reverse engineer it. Okay, that's pretty simple and pretty straight. You know, I'm moving right now, and so when I move into my new house, it's empty, it's bare. The space is you know, there's nothing there. So how do I create that into the living space that I want it to be? I only put in there the things that I want in there that's going to give me the comfort level that I desire. So for instance, in my home office, okay, I know I want it to be a home office. That's my vision for it. I'm reverse engineering it. So when I go to the store, I'm looking for the things that's going to make that room, that space, into an office. That's the first thing. Anything that's not going to make it into that space, then I can pass that by. I don't have to waste my time on that. That's the way it is when you're trying to build wealth, when you're trying to go towards your end destination and you want to guarantee, reverse engineer it as best you can. See yourself where you want to be. Imagine yourself living that kind of life. And the clearer you can get that image in your mind, the more you can see yourself surrounded by certain types of people and certain types of environments, going different places, how you got there, your mode of transportation to get there. Then you know, as you try to go there from where you are right now, those things that are not in line with that vision, those things that are not in line with that purpose, with that end goal, you can minimize or completely eliminate a lot of those distractions. And that is a good blueprint that you can follow. If you don't know exactly what it is you need to do now, then reverse engineer it. Say, okay, you know what? I want to be at this certain thing right here, you know, and then you can work your way back from there, understanding that as you tackle the everyday challenges right now, that those steps for you, those things, those people, those activities, those habits, if they're not getting you to where you see in your mind clearly where you want to be, then it's probably not a good thing for you to do those things. It's probably not a good idea for you to align yourself with those people, those actions. So that's the closest thing I can give you right now to a guarantee, is that you're only guaranteed the journey, okay? And they say, and I believe them, that the being is in the doing. And that means that you will become who you ultimately will be by what it is you do. And so that makes a lot of sense when you think about, you hear a lot of people say, and I'll bring it back down to a day-to-day level, the way it's affecting my life and how you can tap into this as well. They always say, you know what, if I lost everything I had today, I could get it back. You hear millionaires, because, you know, we want to be millionaires, and they always say that, and we say, you know, they're full of it. They say, you know, if I lost all my money, I have no doubt I could become a millionaire again. Well, it makes sense, guys, and we already know that. The things that you know how to do, as I said, reverse engineering it, then if you needed to do that thing again, and there's several things that you are doing again and you need to do, well, you know how to do it. And so anything that's not in line with you doing that thing, you know to sidestep it, not do it, not take it on, or if it's something that's not quite right, you know how to make it fit that situation and get back what it is you want to do. And so it's the same with money. Once you become a person who's able to build wealth, improve wealth, hold on to wealth, that's a whole different realm in and of itself, and then you know that, hey, if you know, it might not be, again, easy, but it's still simple. I know how to build wealth again. There's an excellent challenge that was done by the Discovery Show where they put billionaires on and say, listen, if you go to a new place with nothing, I think they gave them $100. I don't think I know. They gave them $100. Could you start $1 million business? And they gave them ridiculously short time frames to you and me, ridiculously short to you and me, but it wasn't to them. They said, could you rebuild your wealth? And so you watch these guys, and then at the end of the show, when they were successful, they told you their thinking processes. They told you their thoughts. They told you their steps. You're like, oh, wow, that makes sense. Well, it made sense to him because he's done it before, so he wasn't thinking on you the level you and I are on. He's thinking on a success level. The same for you. The being is in the doing, so don't shy away from and understand while it's not fun and you wish that you didn't have to do it. I understand that. You don't want to suffer any more than you have to, but there is some good, there's some experiences, there's some life lessons coming out of this suffering that not only will it help you now, but it will ensure that in the future, if you needed to do something again, you could speak from a point of confidence saying, you know what, I don't have to be afraid of this, I don't have to worry about it, because if I did it once, I can do it again. If you commit yourself to the process and you get it and you master it, and master meaning that you own it, you dominate it, you can do this thing in your sleep. If you can do this once, then it's no problem doing it even 2 or 3 times. We can take our ex-president. He was bankrupt, I think, twice. I know at least once, and went back to become a billionaire again. Okay? How? Because you know how to make those kind of money moves. You have to have a financial reference. You have to have a financial frame of mind. And in order to have that, you have to see yourself having a certain type of lifestyle. And having been financially successful and rich once, he was not going to settle for sitting on a park bench eating a bologna sandwich later, okay? So I know that where you are right now, maybe the bills are overdue, stuff might be getting cut off, you might be getting notice that stuff's going to be getting cut off, you got stuff in collections, maybe you've had wage garnishments. I'm trying to tell you, I know where you are, I'm there with you, I've been in all those situations, I will work with you, I'll talk to you, I'll guide you, I'll give you the resources, I'll show you the steps, and just like I'm doing it and I'm growing by leaps and bounds, you can do it and you can grow by leaps and bounds. The best thing about life is that you have to have something that you're excited about, something that gives you a purpose, something that makes life worth living. And that's why we're all here. And even at the point you're living right now, there is things that are allowing you to be at that point. Well, change your frame of reference. See yourself greater than you are. And then once you see that greatness, double that, triple it, take it to a whole new level. And that's the way that you want to think. Because they say if you try to go here and you learn and you land here, well, that's a hell of a lot better than being here. And you can so easily get there, okay? All we have to do is start making the small things manageable. Big things are made up of small things. Whatever it is, you can reduce it down to its smallest step, its smallest ingredient. And if we then stack, which is going to be another important concept, once you stack that thing on top of that thing and on top of the next thing, that's how you're going to build and improve your finances. You just have to tap into, focus on, latch on to like a pit bull. Just sink your teeth into that life that you want for yourself. And I guarantee you that then you will be able to look at money differently. You will be able to handle your decisions differently, and you'll be able to grow your wealth so that it will underpin that type of life. Because again, money is just the fuel, right? It's just one of the means to get you there. But we're only going to just strip it out and talk only about money. And so in talking about that, as I work with you, I talk to you about your income, and I talk to you about strategies for improving and maintaining as well as protecting your income. So again, I want you and I invite you to be with me, because this is a win-win situation, a win-win solution. I know I can do it. I'm confident I can do it. I'm already seeing results of it. I want you to get on this path with me so that I got company, so that I can talk to you, so that we can encourage each other. So I can tell you about, hey, you know what? I tried that. It didn't work for me. Be very careful of it. Be aware of this. And then you can also share and give me feedback. Let's help each other. Let's start a community. Let's do it now. Let's do it smart. Let's do it practical. Let's do it where, we can work with like-minded people, be that family, be that friends, or even be as strangers who can become a friend. Some of the people that you don't know right now can become vitally important to you later on in your life, okay? So again, my name is Gabriel McCray. I'm at myplusfinancial.com. That's where you can find me. I'm a financial advisor, and I am the Fly Millionaire. Thank you so much. If you know anybody, if this isn't for you, then pass that along to them. Say, you know what, this isn't for me, but maybe you might enjoy it. You can share it, you can like it, but no matter what, my thoughts and wishes and blessings are that you can have the type of life that you deserve and the type of life that will make you happy.